All right, we're talking about how to use your feet and your seat. Did a video of this a couple years back that has since been removed. That were some things that just kind of became normal with spending so much time with horses that I was taking for granted, and talked a little bit about how you can use your legs to communicate with your horse and affect shapes and how important of a tool they are. So I'm going to cruise around here and I'm going to talk to you about what my legs are doing and hopefully try and be in the right position so you can see my feet and things like that, and that this video helps answer some of your questions about how you use your legs. And if it doesn't, you guys can let us know and we may make another one. So without further ado, Jet and I will begin. So your seat is your primary, where you're riding with your body, your energy going forward here. That's your primary aid. Your legs all the way down there to your foot, that's really your secondary aid. If you're changing your seat bones, dropping this hip back, doesn't start to move that horse over, you'll work your way down that leg. So that way, what you have to be careful of is that you don't get too noisy with your legs. Because if you're really kind of squeezing and banging on your horse, they'll get to where they're not listening. And that's why I want to talk about the seat being your primary aid and your legs being your secondary. So now that we have that going, right now I'm thinking I'm controlling my whole horse, right? He's got 4 legs. At least last time I checked, he had 4 of them. That's what it feels like. I'm thinking of where they are. Right now, he's a little forward. I've got to get his left shoulder to reach a little bit more. He wants to lope, have him wait. And I'm using my left leg right here in the middle of my horse to help keep the shape in the ribs. As I come straight, both my legs will go even. So say I'm coming around and I want to shorten my turn and start to bring my horse through. I'm going to close with my right leg. I'm going to move my left leg out of the road so he has a place to come through here. And my right leg is going to tighten right here by his shoulder and I'm feeling those feet reach. And as those feet reach nice, you'll lighten up with your leg. You're not just going to put your leg on and hold it there. That's a good way to get them not listening. You're going to want to apply your leg, stimulated change, get out of the way. Reapply your leg when necessary, stimulated change, and get out of the way. If you're just keeping it camped there, it'll kind of get you into trouble. So from right here, a way we could check it out is just very simple. I have my horse in flexion. Let me get my weight distributed. Oh, good. My weight is distributed. Nice. So now I'm going to tighten my right calf, kind of bring my right shoulder back, and just have this horse step his hind feet around. And I can roll my hindquarters and start to work this portion of my horse. I'm controlling his hind feet and the shape of his body with my right leg. Now, if you apply your leg a little more towards the middle of the horse, I can have my shoulders and the rest of my horse move over here. If I apply my leg even further forward, I can just reach the shoulders around faster than the rest of it. So those are some different ways you can apply it when you're cruising around here. As you get more advanced, you can add different flexions and things while you're doing this. But in the beginning, it's a darn good idea when say you're just trying to learn how to use your legs, is just really make sure you're looking where you're going. When you look where you go, it's bringing my right hip back a little bit. It's bringing my left leg forward. So when I come over here to the left, I'm thinking of my left leg controlling the shape and the body. If the horse is too rigid along this left side, he won't be able to put enough weight over his outside hind foot to drive and stay appropriately balanced. So see, he's a little stiff in there. I'll see if I can set this up for you. I'll use my inside leg to work that shape and loosen that back up and then cruise back along. When I come around and I'm starting to make another circle, I'm thinking of that inside leg, my left leg reaching those hind feet. say I want to switch this way. I think about switching with my hindquarters and coming across. If I want to come this way, I'm doing the same thing. I'll put my inside leg on, my right leg will come a little bit forward. If I want to narrow it down to a spin, my right leg will close off the shoulder. And the same thing if I want to go to the left, I'll straighten up here so you can see it. I'll pick my horse up, just apply a little rein, and I'll activate my leg. I'm gonna use my leg a little more because he got a little head there. There. When I get a nice rhythm and he's really searching around there, I'll take my leg off. So when you're going into these corners, something I like to think of is don't always just think of the front feet. Don't just think of pulling your horse into the corner. If you want that horse to go with some balance, these hindquarters have to line up so this horse can get nice and balanced on this arc, which is your circle, because it's not really a straight line, it's a circle. So you can still find a place where you're balanced on there and going right where you should be. And if you just have your shoulders coming in too much like that, the horse won't really be moving that efficient and their hind end will want to wash out. Another way a person could use their legs would be to teach their horse to back up. I use my feet to teach my horse to stop. I use them to teach him to back up. I use them, when a person has to come over here and open a gate up and then, go around the other end of it, pick the shoulders up and close your gate. Oh, I better move my hindquarters a little bit more. It's an imaginary gate, but those are the tools to close it. And we've all watched somebody try and close the gate on a horse that can't move off their leg, and it looks like a miserable experience. At least I remember it being one myself. So if you get them working off your legs, you can avoid some of those things, and you have an ability to help support your horse more. If you're doing everything with your hands, your horse isn't getting what they need out of the deal, no matter how stinking good you are with your hands. So much of communicating with the horse, and like I keep throwing little things in here, but the horse is a prey animal, right? So he runs away for a living. It's real important that when a predator, is riding him, that they maneuver him in a way that he enjoys. Otherwise, you can just get him to mentally check out. And by enjoys, I mean balances and is accurate and powerful. That's how horses want to be. So when you're using your legs around here, think of not just putting these buttons in, but putting these leg cues in a way that you take that horse to a place where they're balanced, powerful, and peaceful. So then, not only you're doing it for you, but you're also helping that horse get to a place of understanding to where they can process this material and then repeat it for you later. So these are good things I do every time I'm riding my horse. I'm thinking about my feet. But it's good to limit yourself and put your reins down sometimes and do different things that you need to do. So now we'll do some different maneuvers. I'll pick my shoulders up so my left leg is reaching his right front leg and his left front leg is going across that right front leg. And right now, my right hind leg is balancing those hindquarters. Now his right hind leg is going to move into the flexion. Me and him are kind of the same thing, so you'll have to excuse me for some of those verbal mistakes. Hopefully you catch my drift when you see me doing it. But there's not any one spot where your leg goes. Everybody wants to know, where the heck do I put my leg? You got to let it lie where it kind of naturally lies so that you can have it not be tense all the time. Because if your legs are always tense and you're in there, you're pushing and stuff, your horse isn't really going to listen. You're probably going to have to club him pretty good to get him to listen. So just think about those things when you're helping them, that you're relaxed, that if you want to control the hindquarters, here, let me go broadside here so you can see better. If you want to control the hindquarters, you're going to go, so right here, I'm in neutral, right? You want to control the hindquarters, you're going to go back just a little behind neutral. And, I seen people chucking their leg up and chucking it way back there. It's really not necessary. If you're doing that, you've missed the point, and you've skipped from communication to just kicking the crap out of something because you don't know what you got going, which is okay because I've done that, but you don't have to do that because somebody's telling you. You don't have to start by putting your leg out that much. If you slow down, and even if you have to use your spur on your horse, over time they'll pick it up in a hurry. And if you chuck your leg way back there and you're kind of thumping on them, it really dulls your future leg aids. So I keep going down these stinking rabbit holes, but any of you guys that really know me know that's kind of what I do when it comes to this. So hindquarters, foot is slightly behind neutral, right? Now, it can move those hindquarters into the flexion too though. So I'll pick my horse's weight up, put that weight over that right hind leg, and now my leg is in the same spot for hindquarters, except now it's moving into the flexion, so it's a haunches in. Now, legs are in neutral. Want to roll the hindquarters, I'll just bring that leg back, kind of drop that shoulder a little bit. I would like my horse to come back to me. I'll sit in my stop position and put a little life in my feet. That a boy. Those are just a couple little spots there. Now I'll get broadside again so you can see it. Where I like to have my leg for a leg yield starts in the middle, but then it's going to go to where it needs. Right now he's moving pretty even. Now I'm catching the hindquarters up. Now he's moving pretty even. So you see how my leg adjusted a little bit. That's the part where it's hard. It's very basic, but at the same time, you're not going to put your dang leg in the same spot. You're trying to feel along your horse's sides and kind of check in with them and see those things, and that is where you'll shape up. Because if you start shaping up those spots where they're pushing a little bit or a little bit out of whack, you'll balance them, and that'll really make them feel like you're caring for them. And plus, horses like to move around nice and balanced, and it's more fun to watch for me. And it's more fun to ride because generally when they're moving around real nice and balanced, you're not having to wrestle them. You guys are kind of going to the same place. You're kind of making sense to each other. So remember, in doing all of this, that is the biggest thing, is try and make sure you make sense to your horse when you're doing this. Here, right leg is coming back, rolling the hindquarters. Right leg is creeping forward, picking up the shoulder, moving the body over. Left leg is coming forward, picking up the shoulders. Right leg coming back, tipping the haunches in. Straightening out. I'm going to come to a halt here and take off. I'm thinking about that inside leg, keeping nice shape in the shoulders. Here I'm going to use a little bit of my left leg to keep those hindquarters driving nice. So say I'm going to come to a smaller circle here in front of you. When I do, I'm going to have to bring my horse's weight back across this right here towards his left hind leg. So my left leg is back. And this ground's kind of a little slick, so if I didn't have my horse driving with his left hind leg, I couldn't get around there. Ooh. Now, when I go to come through to you, I'm going to put my right leg on and take off. So that's how you can use your legs to do your rollback and help support your horse going through there. And you guys will have to excuse me. Sometimes I have a habit of getting my right and lefts mixed up when I say it over and over on the camera. So, my apologies. So now, say I want to shorten this circle in a hurry. Right leg's going to come forward and bring the shoulders, but see how my horse started to wash out a little? That was too aggressive. I need to keep that right hind driving a little more. So right here, I want to pick my shoulders up to the fence. My right leg has to keep driving. So when I pick my shoulders up, and this is getting more advanced, but then this way this video covers all these bases from the beginning ideas to the people who are a little further ahead. But when I'm coming around that corner, I need to keep this hind end driving so he can be powerful on that. When I'm going in a big circle, you don't necessarily have to hold the hind end the whole time. You're only putting your leg back or moving your leg when you're shaping something up. You shouldn't have to hold everything together. I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to say. When I have to really tighten that corner, I might have to support him a little bit more because it's a really challenging maneuver. But otherwise, it shouldn't be you having to hold it there all the time. It should be good, just enough to shape it up. Can we roll this way? Yep, just enough to shape it up. Can we come this way? You're doing that all as you're riding around with your legs. So, I think that gives people a lot of things to work on with their legs and some of the ways that you can apply them. Jody, does that leave any questions? Or anything you can think of at this time while you're also trying to focus on videoing? I'll show you guys one more thing here and just keep hitting you with the fire hose. Here, my right leg is reaching his left hind leg. You see, my right leg is reaching his left hind leg. I'm working this diagonal. Left leg is forward. Right leg is forward. Both legs are forward. Come on. That a boy. Putting a little life in them. Now, last thing. This is even more so. When you're working your soft feel, the key to it is using your legs. So if you're struggling with your soft feel, it's not because of your hands. Well, it could be, but chances are more likely it's because of issues with your legs. Because when I pick this horse up, if he's not square, and he's not in a place where he can get balance, and I can't just tip this weight back, or just tip it forward, or tip it back over the left hind, or over, there you go, that a boy, over the right hind. He'll get to pushing. Because if you don't get this little spot here, to where you can use your legs to see how my legs change that, I won't pull on him more. So if you're having trouble there, spend some time maneuvering your legs and moving these pieces of the horse's body that you feel stiff when you're going to make your contact. So when you're going here and that horse is pushing out and doing different things, say like right now, say my horse went to the left, I asked him to come over here. But if I want to straighten him out, I just put a little right leg on, right leg straight, take the leg off. You see, so those are different ways you can shape them up. But anywho, that's plenty of talking. Questions?